Hello and welcome to another video with myself, Reverend Arlene C. And Happy New Year. Happy 2025, even though it is already January 7th, 2025. I've just posted a couple of short um, tarot videos, but not an actual full video yet that I think of. I don't know. I'm so, like I've said in all my videos, time and myself, I don't know. We're just not the best of friends in keeping track with linear time. So I don't know if I want to call this an energy update or not. I almost felt that it was more of just an opportunity for us to just chat. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. You have a moment just to see, how you have been feeling since the last energy update I posted. I think it was just a few days before January 1st. And, just to see how you're feeling as the transition of us moving through December, actually, even right back to November into December and now into January. Um, and I'm finding that the energies are, it's just that consistent flow, that consistent rapidness, as we said before, of how yeah, things are just speeding up so quickly and everything's speeding up so quickly where, you think it, you say it, and boom, it's happening in some way, shape, or form, right? Or, more information about that seems to appear, right? So, and again, it's that energy of yes, there's a level of, we said before, be careful what you ask for, be sure you're really ready. But at the same time, it's about also approaching it in such a playfulness and a level of excitement, right? And to not lose that faith and trust that there's something there that will assist you in your growth and in your evolution of yourself and your awakening to remember of yourself, right? Um, and yeah, and sometimes it does mean being uncomfortable. Sometimes it does mean having our foundation uh, shooken up, and but it's always happening for us, right? That's always the big um, key in all of this, right? Is that level of understanding is happening for us. It is really about how we approach the situation, the perspective we choose um, to take, right? Um, and being that observer and not allowing ourselves to get wrapped up in it, right? Um, I've been finding too these last, I don't know, it's like it's interesting in some ways for me, like I said about time, just how time is interesting and just a little, you know, like I said, it's not linear, but sometimes if I was to put like a linear spin to it, sometimes it makes me like, I don't know, I have to laugh because if I don't laugh, I will probably go crazy, right? So sometimes it's like I need to be just in that sense of sarcasm, right? That's why I've said before in videos where, like it's kind of the joke in this house, like sarcasm, we put that on everything, right? Between my boys and I and stuff. It's always a mixture of sarcasm and Reiki, right? We put that on everything. But no, yeah, so it's like if I didn't have my sense of humor and yeah, I probably would be locked up with, Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, Arkham Asylum. And that's another part of me, if you haven't realized, I am a bit of a comic book nerd. So, yeah. But anyways, um, so yeah, and like I have to constantly look for the giggles and things. But sometimes for me, I'm finding that sometimes you feel like you've lived a whole week in one day, right? And other times, like you already feel it's only Tuesday, but I already feel like it's Friday sometimes. Like just that energy, right? It's like it's just so expansive, right? So it's like, yeah, like you feel like you've lived, I don't know how many days, how many weeks in like such a short span of time. And I'm finding that I'm experiencing a lot of that where it's like, really, I haven't been going through this for that many, like for as many days as I thought. Like it's only been this short amount of time, but I feel like I've been in it forever. So I don't know if you're experiencing that too, where it's like sometimes, yeah, you just feel like you're just in it and in it and in it. Not that that's a bad thing, um, right? Because again, it's all relative and it's all about our perspective and our perception and how we choose to show up. But it's been interesting where, I just, yeah, I've been experiencing a lot again as I was, it's going to be my new normal, right? Where I'm constantly in shifts and different expansions and, expanding and contracting and um, needing my rest and, and then having bursts of energy to go, 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 go. And then having days of like, yeah, no, I just need to sleep as much as I can, and just need to rest as much as I can. And that is my new normal, right? So um, I've been experiencing a lot of that and just with how even call them, do you call them your gifts? Do you call them you're just, I don't know, it's just my way of being. It's all I know. It's like I've said before, it's like breathing. I don't know how to be anything else. So it's just me being me, but it's more of I'm learning more about me, right? Like as we said, we're here remembering, and I'm finding that the more I just sit with things and um, allow myself to feel and not focus, like I said before, on the emotion, not try to focus on the why, but just sitting with it and crying and letting myself cry for without even knowing why. And that's a big thing for me too, because I've struggled for quite a few years being able to cry. And it's been nice. Like honestly, it's been really refreshing to be able to cry and just let myself cry and just be like, wow, like that was amazing. And I've had some really deep, heartfelt conversations with God and just sat there and like laying in my bed because my bed is my energy pod, right? So it's the energy pot for a lot of us because we spend the most of our time besides at work, whatever, it's in our bed. So that is our place to recharge our battery like you would your cell phone, right? And again, sometimes we don't need as many hours as our phone does to charge. Um, and sometimes we do, sometimes we need longer. But I've just been really working on just letting that stuff go of but well, it's more my own self-judgment. So I don't know if you've been noticing that too, where it's just my own self-judgment. I'm noticing that and been working through a lot of things. And that was something else that was coming through. Um, and I thought that might be something good, it would be something a good technique, I guess we can call it, right? A good tool to use for yourself as well. As you're going through, like, as these other aspects are starting to be, we'll say, revealed to you, right? And you're learning these things about yourself and we're seeing the judgment within ourselves. And this is something a technique I did before, but now I'm doing it again because more information is being revealed. And there's this piece of me that feels like I need to comfort and give compassion to the part of me that has been in that fear and been in that resistance. And I need to help myself work through that. And I've said this before, where it's a great technique too when you're just working with yourself, especially because it's always with ourselves, right? Like I can repeat that in every video, right? It always starts with us. So one thing I did already a few years ago, and and it's something that I did for a good year, maybe longer. Like I said, time is weird for me. But I went through different ages of myself till I got to this age, right? And sometimes I still go back and forth because sometimes things will come up, right? Like things, I've been processing, that's happened in my childhood and just, growing up and, in my relationship with my parents, siblings, other family members, uh, you know, relationships, friendships, all those things, right? So you're always in different ages. So I've been doing the Hopo'ono. I hope I said that right. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry if I said it wrong, but I think I said it right. So the Hopo'ono. So I've been saying that mantra. And so right now I've been dealing with, or, with the realization of a lot of the fears I've been holding on to for certain other things, right? And how in those fears I've limited myself, in some ways, right? So now I've been saying the Ho'oponopono to that part of myself and working through it so that I can begin to gain the courage to, step through it, right? So I have a lot of anxieties. For example, I have a lot of anxieties around driving. And again, too, like since the pandemic and we were, shut down. So I was really not a fan of driving, and I only drove because it was necessary. And as you many know, I have boys on the autism spectrum with other diagnosis. And, so most of my life has been to treatment centers for them, right? For these different places so that they can have their sessions and everything they need. And I would go to all these different workshops and everything. I was like a sponge, like just give me everything you can so I can support my boys. So when the pandemic hit, it was like really nice, like that I didn't have to rush to all these places, right? Like if you're in like where I am in Ontario, because I'm a couple hours, an hour and a bit more. Technically, it's an hour away, but because of traffic, you're looking closer to two, close to Toronto. So there's City Pulse, right? And their like tagline was like City Pulse. We're everywhere. So that was the joke for me was, oh yeah, I'm like City Pulse. I'm everywhere, right? Because I was constantly in my car taking my boys and being at all these different things. Um, but then, like I said, so once the pandemic hit, then it was like a lot of these things got put on hold, and it was really nice for me because it's like, oh, I don't have to be like 500 different places in one day. It was beautiful. So, but then of course, then you're not driving, you're not doing these things, and then the anxieties uh, got stronger, got more intense, and again, I've gotten better, but sometimes the anxiety hits so stronger. Even just driving in this city I live in sometimes can be overwhelming for me. And it's not that it's huge here. It's just, I think now we're close to 100,000 people that we have here. So again, it's not like huge. Um, I think that's right. Yeah, 100,000 people here. And it's not like it's huge, but again, the anxiety just hits when it hits. So, um, but even just kind of going outside of here, like it's hard for me, and it's not just highways. It doesn't matter. Like I really prefer like country roads because those always are nicer. Um, but even just like city streets, sometimes it's a lot for me, especially when there's lots of lanes and just whatever. So, anyways, uh, so that was something that was really coming up right now for me and what aspect of what I'm processing right now. So I've been saying the Ho'oponopono mantra prayer to myself, you know, asking, saying sorry that I've allowed this fear and anxiety um, of driving to limit myself, right? And along with other judgments and stuff. So it's just something that I found that really helps that I find that's really been helping me and maybe it'll help you. And I find too that it's not one of those things where you just say it for a few days and that's it. Like it takes time because again, we love we love our Shrek uh, saying of, we are onions, we are layers, and and it takes that time. So like I said, it took me a good year and a bit probably to keep repeating that at different times and seeing different versions of myself. Um, yeah, and I just kept saying it, and then just letting whatever would reveal. If there was information that I needed at that moment, it would come to me. If not, it didn't matter. It was just saying that and feeling it and letting it all do its thing. So I felt like that was something that was important to share in this video today too. It was something I heard earlier today, but I just haven't had a chance to sit down and make a video because it's like almost 9:30 here in the evening on Tuesday. Um, so I feel like, again, like we said before, this is a year of a lot of personal growth, right? A lot of personal attention. It is really about the individual us and a lot of things coming in, mirroring past um, experiences. So it's the next layer being revealed, right? Or more. So it's like there's a lot of that polarity, or there's like, the two heads of the same coin thing that's happening. So we might be noticing that more now, where certain things from a few years ago, is coming up now, um, sharing similar attributes that we're using to work through. Um, I'm just trying to think of what else there was that was coming up. Um, Also, there's an interesting happening. There was feeling some other interesting things that were happening where just like energy points, right? And I was having a conversation with a friend about this too, about special areas where, they've always been known for like having high energy and, like places like Sedona and stuff like that. And it's not that they don't have high energy there, but it's not as strong as it used to be. And I feel that a lot of those points or places like that are changing, and it probably could be because the polar, I can't think of the other word now, but space polar, earth polar, yeah. Sorry, it's just not coming to me right now. Because of those shifts that is happening, right? Where it's like our north and south are being kind of wonky right now. And then that I feel is changing the energy in places as well. Um, what's happening more and more is as we work with ourselves and work with our own energy, we are creating more of this sacred energy, or like an energy vortex for ourselves that we kind of take with us everywhere we go, right? And I've used the term for other people too, where it's like um, you're leaving like your energy signature in certain places, so almost like your footprint, right? Or like if you think of like fairy dust, you've left fairy dust in places, and it's now holding your energy there, and it's creating like these points, like markers in other places, and then all the energies connect, right? Um, to bring more of that unity consciousness everywhere, in building that strength. Sorry, right now, I think there's so much information coming in that I'm struggling to uh, know how to put them in words, and it's kind of making me feel like a little floaty too. So um, at times, I'm not really here. That's the energy that feels like. Like I feel like I'm kind of in between worlds right now, or in between dimensions or spaces, whatever you want to call it. Um, so I apologize if it sounds like I'm rambling at times. Um, but there is just this amazing energy that's happening right now. And as I said before, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, but the reason it's uncomfortable, it's worth it. It's going to really help you in anchoring in to what is aligned, right? And it's really about us surrendering and allowing ourselves to receive. And that's going to be a big thing too, because receiving sometimes is difficult for us, right? Um, because, also too, there's always that, there's a sense of guilt of receiving something and we don't feel we're worthy of it, or we think there's like a catch to it or something, right? So it's learning to accept and receive. So that's going to be something else that I feel for the next few weeks. It's going to be prominent is an energy, because again, there was something I was feeling about that before, and I should have made a video before. So I feel that there's this, like I said, I remember when I said this in, where we are in like this point right now where, it's the path is separated, and it's like now we're deciding which path we're going to take. So it's like there's two or three, let's say, more prominent timelines happening right now. And then based on what we're choosing, we are going to follow more of that one timeline versus another timeline. So they're happening simultaneously right now. And then based on what we decide, and I feel that we have until, I want to say, January, I keep hearing January 25th. Don't know what's up January 25th, but I keep feeling like around January 25th, 26th is kind of like the deadline for that. And then, so making a choice, not making a choice is still making a choice if you don't make a choice. So it's like then the choice will be made for you, right? So it's about right now, um, really taking everything in right now and going deep and anchoring within, having your conversations with God, um, you know, remembering to be grateful and appreciative, waking up every morning saying thank you. These are things, and I know it sounds cheesy and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter how cheesy it sounds. It's true, right? Like it's amazing. I don't know. Like I can't. I know it always sounds like that, hoo-hoo stuff, but I see it happening. I've seen the results, right? Like I've experienced it, I've witnessed it, and it's just like whether you believe in it or not, it's happening, right? And it's there, and there's a reason it keeps being shared, right? Like because there is accuracy in that. Um, but that just that right now, this is a very important time. This is a very important time where now we are setting the foundation for the next path, for the next timeline that we are converging into. Um, because we're going to be noticing a lot of changes happening, or the beginning of changes happening, where a lot is being revealed. Um, I feel especially in the government stuff too. Like there's lots happening there, and then I just heard like the farming too and stuff. So like farming and foods or stuff coming up with that. I'm not sure specifics yet because I literally just heard it as I'm making this video. So I don't have specifics yet. Um, but there are things happening within that where it's about wanting or the need for us to have that healthier, cleaner food. And I feel like that is the next. I feel like once some of the government stuff is taken care of, what that means, I'm not sure. But once I think the powers that be are put in place, that's going to be the next focus is I feel food, right? Like how our farming and our fruits, vegetables, and stuff like that, and then moves on to like medicine and stuff, right? And our healthcare. That this is literally just information that's coming in right now as I'm making this video. So I don't have specifics yet, like I said. I'm going to leave this here because I feel like I was on this tangent and I don't know how long I've been talking and what's been coming through because it's just like verbal diarrhea. Okay, surrounding you, all in love. Happy New Year again. Thank you so much for being here. Please share with me what you've been experiencing, what you've been noticing, maybe anything that you've been feeling. You know, we all have intuition. So, let's share it. I love to, I just love talking to people and finding out what they're sensing and feeling too, right? Like, I'm not here to say that you're right or wrong. I just, it's great to hear other perspectives. So, again, surrounding you in love, you are loved, you are seen, you are safe, you're whole. Until next time, we'll chat soon.